The first impression of compliance, what the public sees matters. As we begin Chapter 5, we shift from record-keeping systems into the physical and operational presence of the brokerage itself. Office compliance is not just internal, it is public-facing. One of the most visible indicators of a compliant brokerage is proper office signage and licensing display. This section lays the foundation for broker supervision in a real-world setting. Before a transaction ever begins, the brokerage must clearly identify itself to the public and demonstrate that it is operating legally under Arizona law. Under ARS, paragraph 32-2126, every real estate broker must maintain a place of business and properly display signage that clearly identifies the brokerage. This is not a minor administrative detail. It is a legal requirement tied directly to consumer protection and transparency. A brokerage that fails to properly identify itself creates confusion, misrepresentation risk, and potential disciplinary action. Office signage requirements. Clear identification of the brokerage. Arizona law requires that every real estate office display a sign that clearly shows the licensed name of the brokerage. The purpose is simple: the public must know who they are dealing with. Key requirements under ARS. Paragraph 32-2126 include: the brokerage name must be displayed as licensed with ADRA. The sign must be visible to the public. The sign must clearly identify the business location. The name cannot be misleading or inconsistent with ADRA records. For example, a brokerage in Gilbert operating under Realty One Group must display that exact licensed name on its signage. If the office uses a team name or branding that differs from the licensed name without proper disclosure, this may create a violation. A common mistake occurs when agents promote a team name more prominently than the brokerage name. While team branding is allowed, it cannot overshadow or replace the licensed brokerage identity. This ties into AAC R4-28502 advertising rules, which requires clear and accurate identification of the employing broker in all representations. Branch office compliance, expanding without losing control. As brokerages grow, they often expand into multiple locations. Each of these locations must meet compliance standards as a branch office. Under Arizona law, a branch office must be registered with ADRA, must operate under the supervision of the designated broker, must maintain the same level of compliance as the main office. For example, a brokerage headquartered in Chandler opens a second office in Scottsdale. That Scottsdale location is not just an extension, it is a regulated branch office that must have proper signage, maintain records accessibility, operate under broker supervision. Failure to properly register or manage a branch office can result in violations under ARS, paragraph 32-2153, as it reflects a breakdown in broker supervision. A key takeaway: expansion increases responsibility. Each additional office creates another point of compliance that must be monitored. Display of licenses, proof of authority to practice. In addition to signage, Arizona requires that licenses be properly displayed. This requirement ensures that both clients and regulators can verify that individuals operating within the brokerage are legally authorized. License display requirements include: the broker's license must be available and visible at the office. Salesperson licenses must be accessible through the broker. Licenses must be current and active. The brokerage must be able to produce licenses upon request. For example, in a Mesa office, a client walking in should be able to verify that the brokerage is licensed. While physical display may vary depending on office setup, the broker must be able to provide proof of licensure immediately if requested. With the shift toward digital systems, many brokerages maintain electronic copies of licenses. This is acceptable, provided they are accessible and verifiable. The key principle is transparency. Clients must know they are working with licensed professionals. Common violations in Arizona, where brokers get in trouble. Despite the simplicity of signage and license display rules, violations are common. These issues often arise not from intentional misconduct, but from lack of attention to detail. Common violations include missing or improperly displayed office signage, use of team names without proper brokerage identification, operating an unregistered branch office, failure to update signage after brokerage name changes, inability to produce licenses upon request. For example, a team in Phoenix markets itself under a branded name without clearly identifying the brokerage. Clients believe they are working with the team as an independent entity. This creates confusion and may violate both ARS, paragraph 32-2126, and AAC, R4-28502. Another example involves a brokerage that moves offices but delays updating signage. During that time, the office is technically out of compliance. These violations often lead to disciplinary action under ARS, paragraph 32-2153, particularly when they reflect a broader failure of broker supervision. Bringing it all together, office signage and license display may seem like basic requirements, but they are foundational to compliance. They represent the brokerage's public identity and establish trust with clients from the moment they walk through the door. This section reinforces a key concept that will carry throughout Chapter 5. Compliance is both internal and external. It is not enough to operate correctly behind the scenes. The brokerage must also present itself correctly to the public. As we move into the next section, we will examine broker supervision in daily operations, focusing on how policies and procedures guide agent behavior and ensure consistent compliance. Online discussion. Why is proper office signage important in real estate compliance? Answer. It ensures the public can clearly identify the licensed brokerage, promoting transparency and compliance with Arizona law. What is required for a branch office to be compliant? Answer. It must be registered with ADRA, properly supervised by the broker, and meet all signage and operational requirements. Why must licenses be displayed or accessible? Answer. To verify that individuals are legally authorized to practice real estate and to maintain public trust.